So the coins you're about to see on this video haven't really mattered up until now. Um, the proof sets that these particular coins come from have gone on pretty much being just tossed aside, packaged away. The butt of the joke of the 1970s, mint products has been, we buy them in bulk, but we give you nothing for them. All right. That used to be kind of like the age old, saying, and you could talk to a lot of dealers, that have traded these over the course of the last 30 years, going all the way back, I would say, to about late 80s, 1980s, when the U.S. Mint product that was coming out at the time was met with generally lower than normal interest. All right, we began to see this around 1990. People began to lose interest. It wasn't until 1999, with the advent of this brand new statehood quarter series, where things really began to pick up business. But going back to the 1970s, a lot of the coins featured during this time, especially in proof sets, were otherwise unwanted and reviled. The quality of the coins within these government packaged lenses were quite abysmal. I mean, just take a look at that Ike dollar you see right there. The milky white complexion of the coin was the norm for its day, and a lot of that is attributed to the actual materials used to produce the presentation holder that these sit in. All right, and that's why a lot of the coins during this time period look pretty bad. All right, but now there is a lot more attention being brought upon these incredibly inexpensive sets because there are a lot of errors that a lot of folks have overlooked that are coming out of these sets. And today they're realizing a tremendous amount of secondary market value. In some cases, a few of the coins, actually a number of the coins I've talked about over on this video, have sold in excess of $1,000, and they continue to go up from there. But if you have these and you've decided that you just don't want to look through them, or you don't care about them, at least give them a second look, because I guarantee you, as long as you do that, you'll be able to find something neat, something really small, as a struck through fiber, or maybe a small die crack on a proof coin. And keep in mind, proof coins have always been regarded as being some of the highest quality mint product that you will see. Okay, even during the 70s, these coins were predominantly white gloved into the government packaging. So there is some inspection that goes on, but is it perfect? No, because you're about to see 5 coins that at first glance doesn't really look like anything. As a matter of fact, some of these coins that we're going to look at today are easy to miss, and rightfully so, because I think the overall packaging and presentation and execution kind of overshadowed the possibilities of what you can find in here. Proof errors have always been one of those things that we thought was a mystery to a lot of us. It's like, oh yeah, that can't exist, because the coins were in such great presentation quality shape that they just can't possibly exist, right? Take it from someone, myself, that has inspected many proof sets and have found just a really good mix of errors, both major and minor. So a few of these coins, as a matter of fact, all the coins have sold here within the last 60 days on Heritage Auctions. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a few of the Fred Weinberg pieces, in addition to a few other unrelated pieces to the Weinberg collection. You're going to see exactly what you may have been missing here in these otherwise unwanted sets. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the first coin that you see here. This is a 1976S. This is the very coin that you could find in that proof set that we looked at the opening clip. Again, at first glance, you don't really see anything, but purist hunters, treasure seekers, with their magnifier in tow, will inspect every single coin up and down, and then you come across something like this. Now, it's a beautiful coin. It's a deep cameo. It's got the really nice frosted cameo devices on there, offset by the black watery mirrored fields. When you have this contrasting effect, the coins are certainly stunning. And 1970s proof coins certainly had that look. Now, this particular coin right here, I don't know if you guys see it yet, right next to the mint mark at the bottom of Jefferson's ponytail, there's this raised lumpy area here. So it's flanked by the designer initials of Felix Schley and the San Francisco mint mark. So what this is this is a proof version of a Cud die break. So as well maintained and meticulated the dies were during the production process of these coins, they still undergo a lot of stress, a lot of wear and tear. So a piece of the die falling off is nothing new. We see it all the time in business strike coins. But finding them on proof coins, well, that's a scarce thing to kind of comprehend. But here we have one on a date that I'm willing to bet that probably 99% of you have clearly overlooked. All right, this is something, again, that's easy to miss just based on its location on the coin and how it kind of masquerades itself, right there on that ponytail area. It's really easy to miss. So this coin right here, PCGS Proof 68 Deep Cameo, shows that Cud die break obverse. It's at the K5 or 5 o'clock position of the coin. It even says mint error on there. This is a Fred Weinberg piece, and I've actually seen a few of these sold over the course of the last 10 years. So they're out there. There are a number of pieces that have been found. There's always going to be some number or quantity of these that have been struck before the dies were eventually found to have this defect in them. So this coin right here, ladies and gentlemen, sold for $504, which is quite a bit of money. If we put it into perspective of how much you would expect to pay or sell a 1976S Jefferson nickel without an error, it's going to be about $1 or less. Again, these coins have long been the red-headed stepchild of the numismatic world. You walk into any coin shop, they are trying to get rid of these things. And I think that if you are astute of a collector or treasure hunter, you'll know that coin shops will oversee things like this. They really do. They do it all the time, and that's why we love cherry-picking coin shops and shows, for the prospect of finding coins like this. Now, this is a great coin to add to a collection, but also at the same time, a great coin to flip if you're looking to make some big money. The next one that we have here is a little bit more blatantly obvious compared to the Cud die break on the nickel, but we have a 1978S Roosevelt dime. As you can see, it's got a line bisecting the coin on the obverse. It doesn't really quite go through Roosevelt's bust quite that well, but you can see it from rim to rim going into the design. It is quite strong. This is actually referred to as a split obverse die. All right. So the die had split right down the middle, and it was still striking coins. Now, keeping in mind that this is a proof coin, we have seen this on regular business strike Roosevelt dimes, and they're a popular seller. They sell for, for the lowest grade examples, I've seen them sell for $25 to $50, and mid-state graded type of coins have sold well in excess of $100 to $200. But a proof coin with the same anomaly that a business strike split obverse die would have, and there are a number of dates, specifically I think in the 80s and maybe a few in the 70s. This particular example right here grades out PCGS Proof 69 Deep Cameo. This is, again, another Fred Weinberg collection piece that was sold during the Central States Numismatic Show on Heritage Auctions. This one ended up selling for $456. And again, this looks like a coin that could easily be missed. All right, especially if you're not looking for it, you won't ever pay attention to it. A 78 proof set is again another kind of bargain basement proof set available for around $8 to $10. In today's market, they used to be a lot less than that. If you had proof sets that you were selling to your dealer, they would give you probably barely over face value for all the coins, and then they'll give you some sort of story about, when we have kids come in, young collectors, we just give them away. Okay, you hear that all the time on the dealer front of things. But there you go. Just a beautiful, outstanding coin that exhibits a really strong error. The next one that we have here is going to be a 1972's Eisenhower dollar. At first glance, the coin doesn't look that spectacular. As a matter of fact, it's got a carbon spot on the obverse along with a pretty sizable stain. It's not really a toning spot, but it's more of a stain, probably some sort of moisture got into this area. But again, if you take your eye off the ball and you're just hung up with the overall condition of the coin, you'll know that this one has a rather shallow clip right there by the date. And there is a little bit of a Blakesley effect happening right here. All right. And even on proof coins, you do have Blakesley effect. But the big reason why this minor type of error on any other business strike, it's a lot more significant on a proof coin because you just don't see these type of errors on proof struck coins. Again, the premise and the idea is that these are high quality pieces curated by a number of U.S. Mint employees, during the assembling process of the proof sets. They insert these into the lenses before they are sealed shut. So this particular coin right here grades out a proof 67 deep cameo. I believe this is another Fred Weinberg piece. The last three that we have on the list are not Fred Weinberg pieces, but they're other unrelated errors that have sold here in the last 2 months. You can see clip planchet notated on the slab label there. This one ended up selling for $288, where, it's silver, by the way. It's a 40% silver Eisenhower too, so I just want to let you guys know that. But the coin in itself, especially with that stain and the carbon spotting, is probably worth about, all on its own, about $8. Given the silver weight of the coin and it being a 40% composition. So yeah, there you go. Another one to keep an eye out for, and these coins will pop up when you least expect them. If you're not searching for these, you will never find them. And here's another one that has been overlooked quite a bit at first glance. I mean, it looks to be an error, just from these oversized images here. And I mean this one right here, when you're looking at it far away, you'll see the slab photo. You'll see exactly what that coin looks like. It looks like just a regular Jefferson nickel. This particular piece right here was actually, believe it or not, struck on a Philippines Centimo planchet, which is 95% aluminum and 5% magnesium. So it's kind of hard to ignore the difference in the composition compared to a standard nickel planchet. The coin is extremely light. It only weighs 1.22 grams. In comparison to the actual weight of a Jefferson nickel, it's like four to five times weight difference. Excuse me. But you can see just the overall look of this coin. And the color is that akin to of a standard, nickel composition coin, based off of that appearance. When you look at the coin here, it's a PCGS Proof 65 Deep Cameo, showing the struck on a different foreign planchet designation. It says mint error on there. This is actually a really huge coin. And again, look at it. The coin looks and appears to be like a standard size nickel. So when you look at it in one of those chunky, U.S. government package holders, it's not going to look anything extraordinary. So this one right here ended up selling for $4,440. These off struck type of foreign planchet strikes are always quite expensive. Some of the least expensive coins I've seen struck in general, not specifically proof coins, but even business strike coins, $500 and up is generally where I've seen those, and they almost have to be graded, all right, because a grading company, using like Annex or something, they'll have an XRF scanner to test the composition of that coin, and then they could add it to the slab label, and it's a good thing. You want that on there; it helps with the sale. So $4,400 for this one is just a huge chunky amount of coin. Keep in mind the date 77S. All right, so it's a proof year set. That is grossly overlooked. Nobody really cares about 77S or 78 or 79 or 1980. So you get the big picture. We got another Ike here, and this is actually an error type that I have found quite a bit. This is the most frequented error that I've come across in proof coins, and those are clash dies. This time on 1977S Eisenhower dollar, I'm going to tell you what, if it wasn't for these phenomenal photos, if you're looking at a government holder with all the coins in it, you're not going to be able to see this right away. Okay, again, it's grabbing that holder, looking at every coin with a jeweler's loop or a magnifier to be able to find stuff like this. It's only when the final touched up photos and things like that the auction houses or PCGS uses for their true views, where it really begins to reveal a lot of really juicy looking attributes. You can see a lot of the clash dies, on all the field areas, up and around and close by the main figure of the coin. And then you also see some on the forehead and things like that, right here on the neck area and in the ear. This is such a strong clash die. And you can even see the entire profile of Eisenhower's head right on the reverse as well. Again, just a very, very beautiful coin here. This is probably as wild of a clash die that you could find in a proof set, so you definitely want to aim for the higher denominations. Candy half dollars, Ike dollars, things like that for clash dies. I found a lot of nickels and a few Lincoln cents with clash dies. A couple of them I made just some really ridiculous, stupid money off of. I think the last nickel I sold with clash dies, I ended up selling it for like $175. In comparison to the actual price value of the set, it represents just a huge, huge profit gain on that. So this one right here is a Proof 68 Deep Cameo showing clash dies on both the obverse and the reverse. When you have both the obverse and reverse with the clashing, it's always the most notable. It's always the most dramatic. Collectors love things like this, so always look out for this. All right, and then we do have one kind of like honorable mention throw-in, and it's going to be a 1973S Eisenhower dollar. Take a look at this thing. You really can't see anything, right? It's like it's not really readily known what this is, other than you see a little shadowing of some of the letters on the obverse there, which actually, believe it or not, is a really, really cool error. And what we have here is a double struck in collar and with a little slight obverse rotation. So this coin was actually struck twice. It was struck once and then struck a second time, and that's why you have that doubled kind of halo effect to a lot of the devices on the obverse. You don't see it too much on the reverse. But boy, this is such a cool looking coin here. You can even see the haloed effect of the mint mark right here to the left of the primary main mint mark area. Yeah, the double struck coins of any type are always very, very pricey. And I've been looking for an acceptable piece for me to own for myself. I've tried so hard to cherry pick one of these out of rolls or proof sets or what have you, and have come up seriously short. I haven't found any of them. This particular piece right here ended up grading a NGC, actually, the only NGC graded coin on the list. Again, take a look at the coin. It doesn't look like anything, right? It just looks like a standard clad 73S Ike, which has a value of like $4 as a raw coin. So this one right here says mid-air Pru 67 cameo, double struck with obverse rotation. This one ended up selling for $2,640. Oh, by the way, I failed to mention how much the Clash dies Eisenhower sold before this. That one sold for $1,020. Again, that's a coin, believe it or not, that you could sell on its own without any sort of grading to it. That's really the cool part about a few of these coins is you don't necessarily have to grade them, but when it comes to like submitting them or consigning them to an auction house, it always helps. So it always helps. It never hurts. Probably use NGC because it's going to be a little bit lower cost. But $2,640 is what we're looking at here with this one. All right. So what's the lesson of the day? All right. Always look at every single coin. It doesn't matter how ugly the coin is. If you found it in a parking lot, it doesn't matter. There could be a close AM reverse on that Lincoln cent. Don't listen to all the buzz and noise out there about, these 70s, 80s Pru sets being just hot garbage because nobody really collects them. Hey, guess what? We had 6 premium pieces, all from the 70s, that were discovered in these Pru sets, and people are still continuously finding some really neat errors and varieties coming out of these sets. So make sure you do your thing and look through them because Blue Ridge Silverhound told you so. And if anything, if you don't want the coins, go ahead and sell them. All right, the market is like it's hot for these right now, and you have to take advantage of that while the market is steaming hot for them. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and video if you enjoyed today's content. Keep in mind, guys, I do have a TikTok account. It's under the name Blue Ridge Silverhound. You can go to my main channel page on YouTube and see the little button on my main bar at the top for TikTok. You can always click into that if you so wish. But that's going to go ahead and do it. I wish you guys the best of luck in all your hunts. Would love to hear some sort of great, success story, cherry picking Pru sets. We all have at least one, unless you're not really cherry picking them. So that's it, guys. You guys take care. Have a good one. Coinaholics, we are discovering together each and every single day. And I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.